Breakfast and brilliant ideas, coffee and conversation, we're serving up that and much more at IBJ Media's events. Join us at an upcoming event and kickstart your day with fresh ideas and new connections. Check out our event lineup and register now at ibj.com/RSVP.
So now there's a steal. Tamika Catchings out the pass up, setting up, and Catchings is not
a WNBA and Olympic champion.
I remember the day basketball chose me. I was in 7th grade, sitting in my room, pondering what I would be when I grew up.
Basketball Hall of Famer.
We're here with Tees Cafe, and we are delivering cases of our battle tees. We're actually doing 42 cases of our battle tees. We are taking them to IMF.
Entrepreneur.
All these young girls, Marvella will be a space that will allow these young girls to come, to fulfill their dreams and goals, to have a magical place for playing basketball.
Passionate community leader.
Just keep moving, just keep moving. Good job, good job, good job. Hey! Deny. Right. Yep, double low, right there. When the ball's over here.
A visionary. Tamika Catchings, carving her place in Indiana history, both on and off the court. We get her take on the state of the WNBA, her fondest memories as a player, and what's next on this edition of the Business and Beyond podcast presented by PNC. And I'm really pleased to be joined on the podcast this week by a very busy woman, Tamika Catchings, the Hall of Fame basketball player, entrepreneur, innovator, philanthropist. You can go on. You have many titles, Tamika, so I really appreciate you taking the time to join me.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Do you think, as I was going through some of the things that you're involved with now, including your business, Tease Me, which I know is a passion of yours as well, you're into doing so many things. Do you feel like you're busier now than when you were playing?
Definitely. And, it's one of those things though, like life goes so fast. And I always said, even as a player, like I'm going to go and I'm going to go until the wheels fall off. And I really feel like even in my post basketball career, as I've gone into my entrepreneurial journey and everything else, that I go hard. I don't know how to go 50%, 75%. So 100% is what I get and what you get all the time.
Yeah. You're involved with so many things, including, and we were talking before the podcast started, Basketball Without Borders, and you just returned from Africa on a trip with that group. Talk about that. Talk about why you're passionate about that initiative and why you can't wait to go back.
I would say the journey to Africa is one that has been on my bucket list for a long time, and somewhere that I really, really wanted to go. Had the opportunity earlier this year with my sister. We went to Doha, Qatar, and got a chance to do a Her Time to Play programming event out there for a week. During the midst of that, we talked about one of the ladies that was running. It's like, well, where do you want to go next? I'm like, I want to go to Africa.
Yeah.
And she was like, okay, well, we're going later on in the year. In the midst of that, I've had a full hip replacement on the left side. So Took a break, got back from that, hurried up, had hip replacement surgery, had to stay at home, stateside for a bit, but having the opportunity to go to Africa, once in a lifetime opportunity. And I do plan on going back to be a part of it in the future.
Yeah. Talk about Basketball Without Borders and what that is all about and your most recent visit.
Yeah, so it's really an opportunity. NBA, WNBA have teamed up, and they invite, so for Basketball Without Borders Africa, they invited 30 young women, 30 young men that came, and we did programming for a week. The cool part about it is not only do they have former players that go, but obviously former coaches and current coaches that were there, and we work with the kids. So from day 1 to day 5, to see the progress and to see how these young people they changed, their game changed, their mentality changed. We were able to do a Her Time to Play programming in the midst of it. So just a great opportunity to give back to the game. Never knew that basketball would take me around the world the way that it has, but I'm just so blessed and fortunate to have that opportunity.
What do you remember most about this trip to Africa?
Thing I remember most, I was a coach. My
Ah,
first true coaching opportunity, and to see my team evolve. Day one was just drills. Day two, we got put into our team. But to see my team evolve
mm,
from day two to day five, this is something that I will remember for the rest of my life, and hopefully it's something they will remember. But I would say that, having the opportunity to really get to know the players, they're all over. They're from the continent of Africa, right? So, like, they're from all over. Some of them don't speak English, so having to figure out, okay, basketball is a game of sign language, and really
yeah.
being able to get out on the court, show them what we needed to do. And I think I did well. We did not win the championship. That hopefully will come next time. But I think that just being able to feed into them, and likewise, like, I fed into them and gave them all that I had, but I think they did the same. And their dream and goal is to do what I've done, to make it to the US and to be able to go and play collegiately. Some of them have aspiration to play in the WNBA. And so for me, that is what I think about. Of course, we got to go around and see some of the sites. We went to the Genocide Museum, and that was really sad and just crazy to think that just happened in 1994.
Mm, yeah.
But just other country, and having conversation on how their country had come back together, and really using sports,
Mhm.
basketball specific, really using sport to bring the country together.
You mentioned you really enjoyed your time coaching. Is that something you might want to explore in the future, being on the sidelines coaching?
I don't know. I used to say absolutely not, but what I enjoyed most about that is there was really no money in flow. You start adding the money aspect, it just changes a lot. And for them, really, I think the thing that I love the most is knowing that we can help them get to their next, which is
Mm,
being able to play college, being able to play collegiately here in the US, or if they want to stay in Africa, but helping them use that game, and being able to learn those life skills. So you never know, Gary. Never know.
yeah. All right. Good. Well, we'll keep tabs on that. You have a real passion, obviously, for giving back, and that this is a great example. Is that something you've got your foundation, Catching the Stars Foundation, which has done so many great things? Is this something that I'm assuming you've had for a long time? You kind of developed growing up as a child?
Yeah, definitely. My mom and dad were big on giving back, and my father played in the NBA. So that
Mhm.
was something, even I think about being a WNBA player. Like, our role as players is not only to play the game of basketball, but to make sure that we're making an impact in the young girls and boys that are coming behind us. And that was fed into us really early, giving out Christmas toys, even though we wanted to keep them, but we had to give them out. Thanksgiving, giving out turkeys, all of that early on. Then when I went to the University of Tennessee, Pat was very, very big on, not only are we going to be basketball players and great citizens, but even more importantly, we have to give back to that next generation. And that was something she preached over and over. So now you fast forward to leaving Tennessee and leaving my house, and
Yeah.
having mom and dad guidance, and really through every single experience that I've had, being able to see it put into motion. My sister and I, Taj, we started the Catch the Stars Foundation in 2004, so we're 20 plus years with the foundation. We serve about 1,500 kids a year, so it's been a blessing with that. And then, of course, the tea shop, Tease Me Cafe, same thing, being able to hire young people and feed back into them, which ultimately feed back into our community.
Yeah. Well, you came by giving back very naturally, came by being a basketball player naturally through your family. How about being an entrepreneur? You mentioned Tease Me, the cafe that you've had. How long have you had the business now?
Tease Me Cafe, 8 years.
Wow.
But yeah, it's crazy how time had gone by. But I took over in 2017, and so actually 9 years. I took over in 2017, started with one. Since then, we have grown to three, with our fourth one kind of being on a hiatus right now, the one that's at the Ivy Tech Community College. And it's been a blessing. I think everything that I've been able to do, I've learned a lot,
Yeah.
ups and downs, surviving a pandemic, and a lot of great things, but I've had a lot of great partners alongside to help us succeed.
Did you ever think you would be an entrepreneur, a business owner? Is that something you've wanted to do, or just kind of happened by accident?
Definitely by accident or organically should be the word. It happened organically. But a cool fact, my grandparents, my dad's side, they actually own the first African American stores called the Catchings Superette out in Jackson, Mississippi, right
Wow.
outside the campus of Jackson State. So that is we had like I have a picture. I remember going to the Superette and my grandma and grandpa my grandma would never let my grandpa stay in the store by himself because he was such a giver. He literally would give away everything. Grandma was like, we have to be able to survive, and the store has to survive. You can't give everything away for free." So, that is the funny story about my grandparents, but definitely they are the seed to our
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. As you look at the challenges of being an entrepreneur and a business owner, are there any parallels? Do they compare at all to being a high level athlete and the challenges that you faced in your athletic career?
Yeah, definitely. One that comes to mind immediately is at least in basketball and sports, and you can control your controllables, right? Like you can take the shot. If I had a bad shooting night, I can get in the gym, I can get some extra shots. There's a lot of things that I have a little bit more control over. Now, as a team in team sports, I can't control my teammate, but I can definitely lead by example. And I think that's the same thing when it comes to being an entrepreneur, being able to lead by example. And even with with all of our teammates, we don't call them employees, but our teammates, we get the opportunity every day to lead by example. Now we have good days and bad days, and I think even from that standpoint, whether you're an athlete, high level athlete, or you're in as an entrepreneur, like you have to learn how to not let your lows be too low and your highs be too high. But the things I can't control as a business owner is how many people come into the store every day and how many people buy something every day. I don't have control over that. But what I want our team to know is you have an opportunity every single day. When I'm on the court, I give 150%. When you're in the cafe, give 150% because our teammates, employees, they will never only be like only work in a tea shop. You
Yeah.
never know who will come into the store and give you an opportunity. And the same thing as an athlete. As
Yeah.
a high level athlete, I couldn't play basketball
Yeah.
for life. I was gonna get hired by somebody else and I had the opportunity to step into the front office with Pacer Sports and Entertainment, and here we are.
Yeah. Since your playing days, you've certainly received many well-deserved accolades. I mentioned a Hall of Fame, which has got to be the pinnacle. But I thought it was really cool as Indianapolis hosted the WNBA All-Star Game this summer that there was a mural that was dedicated to you, a very cool mural on Mass Ave downtown. What'd you think? What did you think when they came to you and told you about the idea?
Unbelievable. Honestly, I was like, "Are you sure? That's crazy, like a mural, like for real?" And they were like, "Yeah, we want you. Everything that you've accomplished, everything you continue to do and bring to our community and to not just the city, but the state of Indiana. This is what we want to do." And what a cool process. It was a
Yeah.
great process. All of the artists was just phenomenal. And Nate and his team, they just did a great job. And it looks like me. It's amazing. It is kind of creepy, but it's really amazing.
Yeah, sometimes when there are statues or paintings or whatever, they don't look at all like the person. So you're lucky that it does look like you. That's good. That's
Thumbs
awesome.
up, two thumbs up.
What was it? What was that event? Because I know you had a lot of family and friends who were there for the unveiling, if you would. What was that? What was that like?
It was cool. From my newest great nephew, him being able to see it, and of course he's only 2, so I had no idea, just running around, but for him to be a part of that, and my nephew and my family, my mom, and my brother and my sister, like everybody being able to be a part of it, it would just, you never envision, and I would say even in the beginning, my goal was to play in the NBA, right? And then the WNBA came and my goal shifted to wanting to be in the W. But you don't go in like, oh, I want to be a Hall of Famer. I want to have posters and murals and shoot. Like you don't
Right.
like we didn't think about that. That wasn't something that was imaginable. And now to have it happen and being able to be a part of all of these things and I have accolades. And it's crazy when I look back because I'm like, I'm not, even the mirror, I'm like, I'm not that old. Right? I'm not. There's so much more, Lord willing, there's so much more life ahead of me. And this is just part of the journey.
Yeah. What'd you think about how Indianapolis hosted the WNBA All-Star Game?
Phenomenal. Everywhere I go, and even being in Africa, and when I say this, everywhere I go, people that have been to the All-Star game, have heard about the All-Star game, or in whatever way, when we start talking about WNBA All-Star Game 2025, people are like, Indiana showed out. They showed up. Everything was first class. The graphics on the side of the building, to the game, to all of the activities that were hosted outside, to just the activations that were going on, every single thing that we did. And I'm proud because, of course, we were being one of the co-chairs, but knowing how much energy and effort went into making sure that this was the best WNBA All-Star game thus far until we bring it back.
Yeah, yeah. What do you think about where the league is now? Because obviously seeing some tremendous growth, visibility, certainly the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, very close to home here. But how would you, and you're, to me, you're on that Mount Rushmore of WNBA people. Give us your take on where the league is now and kind of what's next.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the growth of the league, and I've kind of had I watch it from afar now as a fan instead of having my hands all in, which gives me a good chance to like take a step back. I love the players that have come in. I love the growth of the game. There's obviously highs and lows, and my team is the Indiana Fever, so I'm still diehard into that. And some of the struggles we've had as of late with the injuries,
Yeah.
but to know that the growth and to see the trajectory of adding more team by 2030, having 5 more teams. Now I'm like, okay, the players really making sure that we are getting the cream of the crop and making sure that the WNBA stays the premier league in the world, that players, no matter which country they come from or the United States, that they want to come and play in the WNBA and have an opportunity to be a part of it. The growth, you see the numbers, you see social media numbers, TV deals. There's a lot of traction. There's a lot of great things. And now it's just a matter of making sure that it's not just a momentum thing, like, oh, we're riding the wave, but that is something that we are consistently trajectorying higher and higher to make change and to allow the young girls that come behind us, they want this opportunity. So we need to make sure that the WNBA continue to operate strong.
Yeah. What's your take? Certainly, the pay issue is front and center for the league, and where that's going. You mentioned TV. TV deal had very little value a few years ago. Now that number is substantial. The players want what they feel is their fair share from a salary standpoint. A lot of conversation about it, even talk of a walkout that's circulating out there. What's your take on where things are with that? How you see that playing out, and what a critical time this is, I guess, for the league going forward.
It's definitely a critical time. And, one of the things that I have thought about this conversation and where I stand, the hard part for all of us is that we're outside.
Yeah.
We're not in the rooms. We're not looking at the numbers. We don't have access to all of the information that's being passed between the Players Association and the league back and forth. So we don't have that information. But what I can say, and having been in those seats and having been a part of a couple of CBA negotiations, is that they have to do what's right, not only for the players, but more importantly for the league, because the league is something that we want to sustain for years. And everybody wants to look and compare the NBA and the WNBA, which there's not really a comparison. The NBA has been around for 75, 80 plus years. So my number is probably off on that as well. The WNBA was still a fairly young league, and we've had a lot of growth in the last 3 to 5 years, which is amazing. Now it's like, okay, how do we continue to have that growth? Pay the players what they deserve. Yeah, definitely. What is that number? I don't know what the number is without knowing the behind the scenes. And I think for all of us, we all want to see a league where the players, if they don't want to go overseas, they don't have to, because financially they're stable here in the US. We have a couple of more leagues that have grown and have been great for the player to be able to do in the off season here in the US. So that's an opportunity. But I definitely feel like from a league standpoint, making sure that it's sustainable for the league, but more importantly, sustainable for the league and also the opportunity for the players to get what they're worth and what they deserve.
Yeah, and you headed up the
Players Association.
thank you. Yes, when you were a player, so you've been literally at the table for these kinds of talks and negotiations. What was that experience like for you? Because that's several years ago, different scenario for the league. But what was that like?
Yeah, a different scenario and definitely different time. What we're talking about now and what the players, you just said it too. Like a few years ago, the TV deal wasn't nearly what it is now. And so the opportunities have increased. The visibility has increased. The players that have come in have allowed that opportunity for the league to grow. So some of the things we were fighting for while they were women specific issues, it's a lot different. The numbers are a lot different now than they were back then. But even still, like being at the table, and Nneka Ogwumike doing a great job as the head of the Players Association now, but her being at the head, really you have to look at it as now I'm not just representing myself and my team, the Seattle Storm. For her, she's representing all of the players. And so all of the players have to be updated and have to know what the numbers look like and what the opportunities look like. All of them have to be on the same page. Are you going to get everything you want? Probably not. But, in any negotiation, that's exactly what it is, to try to get to a point where both sides see eye to eye, and somebody's going to have to give. It's going to be a lot of give and take, a lot of little give and take based on what's up for the negotiations.
Yeah, in terms of the Fever franchise, love to get your thoughts because I think it's interesting the commitment that Simon Family Pacer Sports and Entertainment has made to the franchise. As we are taping this podcast, we're I guess a day away maybe from the groundbreaking for the new Fever training facility in downtown Indianapolis, which I think is something like a $78 million investment, which is a huge number. It's going to be a phenomenal complex, really part of that Fieldhouse district. That's quite a commitment.
It's definitely quite a commitment. I look at it, I'm like, I was probably 2 decades too early. That's okay, because we set up the foundation for the team and for the organization to be, from the Fever side, to be where they are. And what a blessing for this team, and at this point in time, to be able to see the growth of the league, but more specifically the Fever. The training facility is going to be gorgeous. What a great location. I remember when the men got third across the street from Gainbridge Fieldhouse, and I remember asking, like, well, when are we going to get on? And it wasn't the time, it wasn't the time, and now is the time. So the groundbreaking is going to be phenomenal once they get the building up and running, and just to be able to be the staple. Women's sports is so important, and having it right here in Indianapolis on the platform that we have right now, continue to build that.
Tamika Catchings is my guest this week on the Business and Beyond podcast, Hall of Famer, and certainly a Hall of Famer in terms of the impact she's making off the court as well. We'll have much more with Tamika when the Business and Beyond podcast returns. Stay with us.
At PNC Bank, we're committed to making a difference in the lives of our customers and communities by helping them move forward financially. As a Main Street bank, we try to do right by our customers with every encounter. Our local teams offer personalized financial advice to help guide you in making the best decision. We're proud to be part of your community. PNC Bank. See how we can make a difference for you at pnc.com. Copyright 2022, the PNC Financial Services Group, Inc., all rights reserved.
We build Indiana. The Laborers International Union of North America builds and maintains roads, bridges, and other essential infrastructure that make us the crossroads of America. So thanks to LIUNA members' work, Hoosiers have a better quality of life, like access to utilities, easier routes to jobs, schools, or medical care, and deliveries keep moving. We build Indiana for good jobs and stronger communities. The Laborers International Union of North America. We are LIUNA.
Moments of inspiration mixed with time to network, IBJ Media Events has you covered. From industry deep dives to awards celebrating Indiana's top leaders, see what's coming up and reserve your seat at ibj.com/RSVP.
And welcome back to the Business and Beyond podcast presented by PNC. My guest this week is Tamika Catchings. And Tamika, as we talked about in the first half of the podcast, we're so busy doing so many different things. From a business standpoint, as you look at those opportunities for the Tease Me Cafe, you've got 3 locations now. Where are you looking? Are there growth opportunities? Where do you see the business maybe in 5 to 10 years?
Ooh, 5 to 10 years. I want to continue to grow. Definitely looking at adding a few more locations in universities, not necessarily more brick and mortars, but trying to grow with universities. So that's something that, in order for us to do that, we are setting our stage, as you will say,
Yeah.
all the different processes and things that we need now. So one of our teammates, Constant Contact, they've been absolutely amazing and just helping us automate things. Right now, we're doing a Red Out campaign that will finish by the end of the month, but had been very vital for my life in the last 3 months that we've been running the campaign, just getting things automated, making sure that they have the AI capacity as well.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I was gonna ask you about that because, and you mentioned Constant Contact and artificial intelligence and automation and things that a few years ago you wouldn't even have thought about, that really weren't there. But that's really now an important part of your business.
it is, and I was one of those people when AI and Chat GPT and all that came out that I was like, man, like we can't go away from people
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we still need to have that personal one-on-one connection. But now I will say that it has become something, especially being as busy as I am out and about and doing a lot of things, the automation aspect, but even just being able, I write all my stuff and then sometimes I'll plug it in just to see like, is there another way to write this? Because you do want to keep that personable touch that you
Yeah.
have. But even with all of the other aspect that we have with Constant Contact, keeping our database, making sure that, they do a great job of sending just tidbits of things that, hey,
Sure.
have you get this? And then having that, your one-on-one partner that you can connect with to look at your numbers and make sure that your numbers are definitely
Yeah.
trending up.
Yeah. How do you, with all you have going on from a business philanthropic standpoint, all the different things you're doing, are there keys to balance that you try to keep in focus? How do you keep things organized?
You got to have the right team. First and foremost, we have a great team. So my general manager for the tea shop, she pretty much runs all 3 locations. And if there's something that goes awry, making sure that we're on the same page. So I would say that. And then two, what I've really tried as of late is to control my schedule more. Because before I was like, oh yeah, we're meeting here, we're meeting there. And that is one thing that I miss about being a player is that I was so regimented in my schedule. I knew like everybody knew where I was from this time to this time, she's here from that time, like everything was so regimented. I've struggled since playing, which I know I retired in 2016, but even to this point, I've still struggled at times to manage my own schedule because I do want to do everything and I am passionate about a lot of things, but I would say that's something I've worked on. So having the right teammate, managing your schedule, and then three, like knowing when to say no.
Yeah.
Because you can't say yes to everything. And I say that's part of managing your schedule, but not really, because I get invited to do a lot of things and everything is really cool, but I can't be at everything. And so really trying to make sure the thing that focus on youth most of the time, youth fitness literacy, youth empowerment, those are my 3 areas that I'm really passionate about.
What do you do to recharge? You've got to have time away, time off, that kind of me time, if you will. What do you do to recharge?
I hang out with my family.
Mm.
I love at the end family time is over everything. So family over everything. That recharges me. I try to do daily walks and just being able and when I go walking, I try unless I'm listening to music or I'm with my husband, I try not to take well, when I'm with my husband, I don't take my phone. And unless I'm listening to music, I try not to go with my phone. Or if I do, if I'm by myself, I'll tuck it somewhere where I'm not like just constantly looking at it because that's a time where my brain can just recalibrate and I can think about, first being thankful that I'm here and the opportunities that I have, but even more importantly, just being able to like just to be and not feel like, okay, I got to do this, and I'm not doing my to-do list in my head. So I try to really like be intentional about the time of like me time.
What's on your?
Well, this I am actually an introvert, so
That's hard to believe. That is hard to believe.
I am. I'm an introvert with extroverted tendencies.
That's a great description. What's on your playlist? You mentioned when you go for your walks. What's on your playlist?
I don't have a playlist. Even as a player, I never listened to the same song over because I didn't want to be like, oh my gosh, I didn't listen to this song. You know, like people have those superstitions. I never wanted to have a superstition. So my superstition was not to do the same thing or listen to the same thing. My routine was pretty much standardized, but other than that, so it really depends on what I feel.
Yeah. What's next, Tamika, for you? You have so many ventures, so many things going on from a business standpoint, philanthropy, all the things you're doing. As you look at you personally, what do you want? Where do you see yourself, say, maybe in 5 or 10 years?
Well, there's a lot. I'm sure God has a lot planned for me, but I would say in the near future, one of the projects that I'm a big part of is Marvella, Sports and Leadership Center. So I'm super excited to be the first girls in sports leadership center in the country, and have put a lot of work. I know you had a conversation with Dr. Allison Barber a few weeks ago. So
Yep.
been a part of that and really getting that up and running. Hopefully by end of 26, going into 2027. So that's my next. And of course, with the foundation, continue to do great things. T-Shop, looking at growth. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things in coming, but I don't really want to talk about it because I'm like, okay, it gotta happen. And then
Right. Right.
so you can speak it into existence, yes, sometimes, but sometimes you just have to let it kind
Yeah.
of make the little waves, the little ripples, and then hopefully they'll turn into waves.
Speaking of waves, you mentioned the Marvella project, which is a big project. And for those who don't know about it, Northwest Indiana, Fair Oaks Farms, really a major development, athletic leadership center, if you will, for girls and women. Talk about the project because I think it is important for girls and women. It's also important for the economy in Northwest Indiana. It's going to be a big driver there. Talk about that project and what it's going to be.
Yeah, I mean, you hit it on the nail. It's going to be the first girls sports and leadership center. So we'll have the outdoor traditional and non-traditional sports. Well, back to thinking about tease me. Yeah, we'll have the non-traditional and traditional sports. So the indoor sports aspect of it. We really are excited about the Marvel Us Success Center. So that'll be leadership, mental health. That'll take all those components. So it's separated, but we really wanted to create an all-in-one, like an all-inclusive place where young girls could come. We'll have tournaments, we'll have speakers, we'll have a lot of different things throughout once we get it up and running. So right now we've been doing a lot of just pop-up, different events that are going on around town, making sure that Marvella is a part of it. For those of you that don't know, Marvella By, so Birch By, Senator Birch By, his wife, her name was Marvella, and one of the main reasons that we named it after her is she is a big proponent and why we have Title IX. She got denied to go to college and had the conversation with her husband about why women aren't allowed to do and have certain things. And because of their conversation, Senator Birch By put into motion Title IX, which allowed girls and women the opportunity to get college scholarships, and whether through school or sports. So because of that, I was afforded the opportunity to go to the University of Tennessee and ultimately to have my dreams and goals of playing in the WNBA achieved.
Well, it's a major project, and they're certainly lucky to have you involved with it, Tamika. I know Allison Barber doing a great job with the foundation there for the Marvella project. Tamika, it's been really great to catch up with you. I can't tell you how impressed I continue to be by you and all you do. Obviously, you get a lot of attention for your basketball exploits, but you're equally impressive off the court as well. So really appreciate all you do. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Gary. Thanks for having me. You keep doing what you're doing too. We're watching you as well.
Okay, I appreciate it. And appreciate everyone listening to the Business and Beyond podcast. We're presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with achievers in business, sports, education, and much more, and beyond. The Business and Beyond podcast. You can catch all of our episodes and get Indiana business news 24/7. All you have to do is go to InsideIndianaBusiness.com. I'm Gary Dick. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
What happens when a basketball superstar changes the course of an entire city? I'm Mickey Shuey, and in Beyond Clarkonomics, we tell the story of how Caitlin Clark's arrival to the Indiana Fever sparked more than just sold-out arenas. It's rewriting Indianapolis's long-term strategy for sports, downtown growth, and women's leadership. Listen at ibjpodcast.com or on your favorite podcast app.
Your commute just got smarter. Turn drive time into growth time. The IBJ Media Podcast Network gives you front row access to leaders shaping Indiana's economy, culture, and future. No filler, just smart, relevant, local storytelling you won't get anywhere else. Find all of our shows by searching IBJ Media in your podcast app or visit ibjpodcasts.com.